Erick at Develon Machinery. We're going to do a little product overview of this DX225LL-5 log loader from Develon. Let's get into it. Start here at the front. You'll see there's a Grapple already set up on it. Develon built heel rack. Pretty much a whole machine from the ground up is all Develon and minus the Grapple. You'll see all the tubes up there. All steel brackets. Makes it really durable. We haven't hardly had any machines come in that have had any damage to tubes. It really goes to prove that they're very durable and they really don't get bumped much. You'll see here in the shop we wrapped all the lines to make them extra protected, as well as using the tough cover hydraulic hoses. As you'll see on this machine, we have armor on that cylinder. We'll have armor on the lower cylinders. They're kind of the swing points where the logs are going to come in and hit. Pretty thick. Pretty rare we've seen anybody damage them. A lot of questions we've been asked are what's the difference between a road builder and a log loader? Realistically, they're almost identical. You'll see this as a cab riser. Gives better visibility by raising the cab up 4 feet. Other thing that's different about these machines from a road builder is obviously the entire stick. The cylinder's typically mounted on the other side for a bucket, and you'll have a thumb setup going on. That's pretty much the only difference between those two machines. We'll take a look here now at the undercarriage. See, pretty simple. You got your drain, your level, and your fill plugs. They recommend you change this after the first 500 hours and then continuing onwards every 1,000 hours. And they do 90 weight gear oil. We'll work our way a little bit back. You'll set track tensioner on the grease zircon here. Great feature about these undercarriage that are on these log loaders is the raw guards all unbolt. Makes it to where you don't have to do any cutting or anything like that to service them. You just unbolt the raw guards and you can unbolt all the rollers to do your undercarriage. We'll start checking out these panels and see what's underneath with this guy. There's your DEF pump, and you'll need access to this door as this is your DEF filter. Moving back. We'll see in here we have oil filter labeled right there, nice and easy. And you have a fuel filter right here. And tucked way here in the back, you'll see your pilot filter for your hydraulics. All these filters are on a remote mount, so everything's accessible from ground level, just right there in one compartment. The hydraulic level check is also located right here. It tells you what to put in there, the position your machine needs to be put in, and the sight glass is right behind. Another thing we'll take a look at is how to drain your engine oil. They made it pretty easy on these Doosan's. You'll see this door, you take the bolts out and it actually unhinges. You don't have to worry about dropping a big heavy plate down. And it also has a quick release, so you thread on a coupler right here and it dumps the oil, so you don't have to worry about making this big of a mess when you pull drain plugs. Taking a look at this side, there'll be a couple more things to check out. You see we got our fuel water separator, the coolant reservoir, cab tilt pump, all easily accessible. You can see that actually when the door is closed as well. Makes it pretty easy. Also, when you change this filter, there's a primer pump right here. So if you pump that back up, you don't have to worry about hard starts after changing your fuel filters. Glass panel right here. See, obviously up here we got an air filter. It's also a two-stage. There's an inner and an outer. We have a wiper fluid reservoir. And down here you'll see we got a pattern changer. That's for changing your pattern from the two standards. On top back there you'll also see this machine has a pilot accumulator. That's for bleeding off functions if you have a line that you need to swap out or something. Makes it pretty easy. Also on top up there, it's a particle separator style that feeds the air filter. It's supposed to reduce most of the dust before it actually enters the air filter, extending the service life of all the air filters on the Develon machine. Taking a look at the top of the machine now. See underneath this panel, we got our batteries. You'll see there's also a night switch that you can shut off. It's all guarded, a lot less corrosion this way. With all the guarding. Also right here, you'll see is where you fill your DEF. All you need to key to unlock that. Taking a look at the top of the hydraulic tank as well. You have your air vent, dump all the air pressure in the tank before you work on it. Under here you'll have your return filter. Looking under the engine hood now. See, Develon built their own engine in-house. It's a DL06P, makes 162 horsepower in this model. You'll see oil dipstick, easily accessible. There's another point you'll check under here is your belt tension, set right there. And the last point you'll see right here is your radiator cap. You'll see the big gap between these coolers as well. They made it pretty nice. It's kind of a toolless design where you can break these nuts free with your fingers and pull the screens out to clean the coolers. Makes it a lot easier than trying to blow through the coolers with a pressure washer and bending fins. Don't have to worry about so much with these ones. You'll see as you climb up on the side of the tracks here, easy access to these grease zerks. They're all mounted in one point. So if you go follow those tubes up, it actually covers that upper cylinder mount and goes down right here, and you'll see it covers the main boom pin. Here's another service point of some grease zerks. So see the two right here? This covers the front and rear of the swing bearing at the same time, so a lot less rotations when you're actually trying to grease the whole thing. The main lower end of the boom cylinders, greased right here. You peek right in here, you'll see this grease zerk. That'll put grease in the gear reduction section of your swing motors. Makes it all easily accessible than trying to climb over the machine and hang upside down for a while. Alright, so next we're going to show you guys how to tilt this cab, mainly for transporting or if you got to do any maintenance underneath it. So first off, make sure your oil level's right. It's right back here on the back of this big cab tilt motor. Just got a dipstick you unthread out of the top. There's this main switch. You'll see when we flip it on, it should start beeping.